Now I'd like to introduce SunilRajasekhar. He's our Vice President of Seller Experience. Before Sunil came to eBay, he spent 9 years as a Vice President in Intuit Financial Services. Something I learned about Sunil this morning is that he is a Yelp elite. Sunil has more than 2,200 reviews live on the Yelp platform. So here to talk about the future of selling, SunilRajasekhar.
Good morning, everyone. So I was watching that Devin interview for the first time as well. So I had a few takeaways. One was Gail approached me around a month ago and asked me if I would do the keynote, and I would be happy to do that. But I didn't realize that I was the second choice. So that was something I learned. But that's fine. Devin does trump me, so that was one takeaway. Second takeaway is that Devin knows Java. I had no idea. I'm going to look at him with an entirely different lens the next time I see him. And the third thing I was wondering about is it ecosystem or ecosystem? I don't know. I keep getting confused by that. All right, so excited to talk to you guys. I just completed 6 months at eBay recently, and I'm having a blast. It's great to be part of a huge transformation that's happening at eBay all around, and I'm having a lot of fun doing that. And what I wanted to do in this 30-minute segment was share with you my perspective on the transformation and what I'm seeing. And again, I'm looking at it with a new person's lens. So I wanted to share my perspective and talk about the future of selling as well. Okay? All right, so here's the clicker. All right, so I wanted to start with a personal eBay story. So I've been a long-time eBay buyer and seller. And I had a recent transaction which really touched me. So I just want to share that with you guys. So in a prior job, I used to travel to Austin, Texas quite a bit, almost every other week. And on one of these trips, my team took me to a store called Allen's Boots in Austin. Have any of you heard of this store? OK, quite a few people. So for those of you who haven't heard of it, Allen's Boots is a landmark store in Austin. They carry thousands of cowboy boots, and I went to the store and I got caught up in the moment and I found this beautiful pair of cowboy boots. It was expensive, wasn't really thinking it through, and I ended up buying it. So I come back to California with these really nice cowboy boots and I show them to my wife, and she says, I don't think you're ever going to wear those. And this is after she laughed for like 5 minutes nonstop. Now, I'm not a cowboy boots kind of guy. And in 99% of the time, she is right, and she was right in this case as well. So the boots were in the garage gathering dust, and after a long time, I decided that I was going to put it up on eBay for sale. Spent a lot of time figuring out how I wanted to sell it, spent a lot of time on the pictures, spent time researching, figuring out, hey, what price to sell it at? Should I do a reserve price? Should I do auction? Should I do fixed costs? So spent a lot of time thinking this through, and I put it on eBay, and like most listings on eBay, it did sell, and I got a pretty decent price. But I was still disappointed because I thought I could have gotten a better price. And all that changed when I got this email from the buyer. And I'll let you guys read through it. So this was a fantastic email. And once I saw this, the money that I made on the shoot didn't matter anymore. Because what it reminded me of was the human connection behind all of this. It's not just about transactions. It's about reaching other people and touching other people's lives. So it was a good reminder. And as somebody who works on the platform, and I say this for all of us, we are enabling millions of such transactions all the time, right? So that's really heartwarming. And it's very fulfilling as well. So that's my recent eBay story. Okay? All right, so I wanted to switch gears and talk about where commerce is going, right? So you guys have seen a lot of headlines similar to this one. Brick and mortar stores are closing at a record pace. Radio Shack had over 7,300 stores at its peak. Now they have around 70. Payless Shoe Store just declared bankruptcy, and they are shutting down a lot of stores as well. JCPenney, Macy's, the list goes on. A lot of them are shutting down stores. That's not the surprising thing. You guys have seen these headlines probably as much as I have, or even more. What I'm going to share next might be a surprising stat for you guys. So this is a stat I saw that came from the US Department of Commerce. And the stat is that in the first quarter of this year, e-commerce sales was 8.5% of all of retail sales. Only 8.5%. And if you think about it, we all know which way that number is going to go. It's going to keep rising, and it's going to keep rising aggressively. So very exciting stat, and this is why I'm excited to be here at eBay at this time. And obviously a trend that's very beneficial for eBay. There's another trend that's beneficial for eBay as well. So what I just talked about, that's not just a US-only phenomenon. This is a global phenomenon. And over the next 4 years, we expect e-commerce sales to get to $4.1 trillion. This is 4 followed by 12 zeros. So this is a lot of money. And buyer behavior is changing as well. It's not just about people being more open to buying online. Their other behavior is changing as well. People are a lot more open to buying items across borders. So I routinely buy products from the UK and China, and we are seeing this happen globally as well. People are a lot more open to buying products from other countries. And according to Accenture, they have data that says that by 2020, the cross-border trade volume is going to get to $1 trillion. So again, you heard Devin talk about this. Another thing that's a core strength of ours, which is cross-border trade. So another trend that plays nicely to eBay's strength as well. We operate at tremendous scale. eBay has 169 million global active buyers. And if we were a country, we would be the 8th largest country in the world. We also have 1.1 billion listings that are live right now. So that's a lot of inventory, a lot of buyers, and the opportunity for us. And I have a bias towards the seller APIs. Not what Devin said. I think seller APIs are number one. We have an opportunity here to help these sellers, these global sellers, and we have millions and millions of these, be successful and reach this buyer base as well. So that's the opportunity. That's what today's going to be about. Okay? All right, so you can make a case that, hey, the industry trends are playing to eBay's favor, and we already operate at tremendous scale, and we should be able to coast and still do extremely well. You could make that argument. But what you will see at eBay is the exact opposite. Because we are seeing the market come to us, because we already have tremendous scale, we are acting with a high sense of urgency to drive transformation across the company. This is what Devin's driving from the top, and all of us feel this. So one of those big transformations is the change to the shopping experience. So a typical eBay shopping experience is one where you already know what product you're going to buy. You come to eBay, you do a search, you look at the listings, you go through all these listings, and then you buy your product. That's the typical eBay experience. We are working on dramatically changing that, and you will see this today on the website. We are moving to more of a product-based experience. So when you come to the website, you can look at different categories, you can look at different products, you can look at similar items, you could look at reviews. We will also give you highly targeted content and recommendations based on your history and your interests. So it's a very, very different experience compared to the typical experience that a lot of buyers go through today. So that's a big investment that we are making and a big change that you will start seeing more and more of. At eBay, we talk about driving transformational change. And this is something I've been hearing a lot of in the 6 months that I've been here. And we hear a lot of this from Devin as well. We're not in the business of driving incremental change, right? There will be incremental changes, but that's not the end game. We want to drive change, like Devin says, that can be seen from space. Things that are 100 times better than what we have today. So this is one of those, and there are several others as well. Okay? None of this product-based experience that I talked about will be possible without our focus on structured data. So this is something we're working on hand in hand with our sellers. We can't do a product-based experience like I was just talking about without knowing what these products are. So when a seller brings inventory onto the website, we need to know what exactly they're trying to sell so we can categorize it correctly and route it to the appropriate experience. So structured data is a huge, huge focus. You may have already heard about this. You will hear more about it today as well. And we have 180 million structured data pages that are live on the site and 20 million user-generated product reviews. This is slightly dated. I can tell you the numbers are much higher, and soon we'll have updated numbers for you guys. Another big transformational change that eBay is leveraging is AI. And you heard Devin talk about this a little bit as well. And this is something that all the teams are looking at. How do we get 100x better with our experiences? And in a lot of cases, the answer is AI. So when you come to eBay and you do a search, behind the scenes, we are using AI to give you the best match possible. On the seller side, when we give you recommendations on what item to sell, what to price it at, we are using AI in the background to do that. When you're looking at a picture and we are giving you recommendations, like similar items, based on what you're seeing in the picture, it is AI in the background that's doing that. So this is something that's a big focus across all of eBay, and it's manifesting itself on the platform today already, and you'll see a lot more usage of AI in the future as well. So one challenge that we've had in the past, and I would say still true today, is that buyers are not sure about the shipping experience. The perception that's out there is that eBay shipping is slow and it's unreliable. The truth of the matter is that perception is incorrect. 2 out of 3 items that ship on eBay actually end up making it to the buyer in 3 days or less. So the perception is incorrect. What we don't do a good enough job of is making sure that people are aware of that stat and highlighting that to the buyers so they don't have this perception. And that's where the eBay Guaranteed Delivery program comes into the picture. And this is something that we're going to be launching pretty soon. So stay tuned. And what this program lets you do is, if you're one of those sellers and you're already providing a consistent, fast shipping experience, now we want you to sign up for the Guaranteed Delivery program. That way you can get more credit for it. And there are 2 options that you have as a seller. If you're one of those larger sellers and you have carriers that you work with and you have very good visibility into the delivery time end-to-end, then you can sign up for end-to-end guaranteed delivery. If you're a smaller seller and the only thing you're comfortable guaranteeing is your own handling time, which is, hey, as soon as I get the order, I will ship it in a day, let's say, it's OK for you to say, hey, I just guarantee the handling time. eBay will take it from there. So we have relationships with all these carriers, and we have visibility into their data as well. So if you as a seller are signing up just for the handling time, we as eBay can still give the buyer the guaranteed experience end-to-end. Okay, so this is going to be a game changer. It's going to be coming out in a couple of months. And on the buyer experience side, what this is going to give you is, now when you're browsing through listings, you can now filter that by shipping options in the time frame that you want. Show me the items that are guaranteed to arrive in the next day, next 2 days, next 3 days. So as a buyer, it's a fantastic experience because the whole worry about when will I get the item gets taken off the table. So higher trust will lead to higher sales as well. Now, if you're a seller, the benefit of this program is if you're already doing this fast shipping, now you're going to get the benefits of doing that. Because more buyers are going to buy, because they have higher confidence, and your inventory is going to get highlighted higher, you will see higher velocity as well. Okay, so this is going to be a game changer. Stay tuned for more. I view this as a transformational change that's coming up for eBay. Another thing I wanted to call out, and again, something I've been seeing a lot of as a newer employee, is that eBay is investing a lot in raising brand awareness. So any Warriors fans over here? All right. So I thought there would be more. I guess more people traveling from other cities. I know you guys saw the ad yesterday as well. And we did run a campaign during the NBA Finals. We're going to be running more campaigns. I think we did something in Times Square. So we are doing a lot of brand awareness campaigns. And we are showcasing where we are different. And we are different because of the breadth of the inventory that we have, the depth of the inventory that we have, and the diversity of the inventory that we have. So that's what's being showcased in these campaigns. And I had talked earlier about how we have 169 million buyers. This is going to help that number go up, and it already is. So really exciting for eBay and our broader community as well. So wanted to talk about distributed commerce for a couple of minutes. The way I think about this, there was a time when commerce meant you had to go somewhere. You had to go into a store, or you had to go to a particular website. And commerce is becoming much more contextual these days. And Devin touched on this as well. You could be on Pinterest, and you're looking at a page with all your pins, and you may see a product that you like that you want to go ahead and purchase. You want to be able to do that in a seamless fashion. So it's not like a jarring experience where you have to go somewhere else. You want to be able to do that seamlessly. You're on Snapchat, and you're looking at a picture, and you like the outfit that somebody's wearing. You want to be able to seamlessly go ahead and buy a similar outfit as well. Or you're on a random website on the web, you're reading about a product, and you're interested in the product. You want to be able to, win context, seamlessly buy that product as well. And we can do that today because of the APIs that we've put out. And we have 18 partners who have similar integrations with us today, and that number is going to keep increasing. So very, very exciting. So now I wanted to spend some time and talk about where we want to take the overall selling experience. So in the time that I've been here, I've been talking to a lot of sellers. In fact, in my first month, I traveled to China, I traveled to Europe a couple of times, met a lot of sellers from around the world, got a lot of feedback on how we could help, where we're doing well, and where we could improve, and then worked with the team to craft a vision for the selling experience. And this is where we want to go. So we want to get to a point where sellers, whether they are consumers, a mom and pop shop, or a really large business, we want to get to a point where they can focus on what they love doing, which is focusing on the product that they want to sell. It could be sourcing the product, it could be manufacturing the product. We want them to focus on that, and then we take care of everything else from that point on. And what does that mean? So that means we help sellers figure out what to sell. We tell them how to price it. We tell them how to market it. We tell them where to sell the item. We tell them how to ship. We tell them when to restock. And we're doing a lot of this today already, but today it's more in the form of guidance. So we guide our sellers by giving them this information. The next phase of this is where we can get to a point where we can automatically do it for our sellers, where sellers give us certain parameters within which we can operate, and then from that point on, the business is on autopilot, and it's not just guidance. We automatically take these decisions for them so they can focus on the part they enjoy doing, and the rest of the business is on autopilot. Okay, so that's our vision. It's a grand vision, and this is what we're working towards. And by enabling this, happy sellers equals great inventory on the site, and great inventory on the site is what our buyers want. So this is that virtuous cycle that we talk about, and that's what we are working to make happen. Okay? So our seller base is very diverse. So on the one end of the spectrum, we have consumers and small mom and pop shops. On the other end of the spectrum, we have multi-billion-dollar companies, right? And our platform needs to serve all of them. So we have a three-pronged approach for doing that. So one is we have our web tools, and we'll talk more about that during the rest of the day as well. We have our web tools that sellers can use, and that a lot of the folks on the smaller end of the spectrum use that. And then we have APIs, which is what you guys are all leveraging. And then the third piece that we have is what we call feeds. So when we have sellers who want to do bulk actions, they have hundreds of thousands of items, in their inventory and they want to upload it, we have bulk mechanisms that they can use for doing that as well. So that's the three-pronged approach that we use for serving our entire customer base. So we've invested a lot of time and energy in improving our selling tools over the past couple of years. So last year, we launched Seller Hub. So this is our brand new web tool that helps sellers manage their business better. And a lot of the guidance work that I talked about, that's available as part of Seller Hub. Feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, and we've seen usage continuing to increase. And right now, we're at 1 million active sellers who are using Seller Hub, which is very exciting. And this is a product that we're continuing to invest in. So every couple of weeks, there's new guidance, there are new improvements. And like I said, we are getting a lot of positive feedback from sellers. And as I said earlier, we do have a three-pronged approach. So our job doesn't end with just the web tools. We are continuing to improve our APIs. You guys have heard a lot about this. You will hear more about this today as well. And we have a new Sell API suite. And the other piece that we're continuing to invest in is our data-driven insights. So this is tied to our vision. We want to get to a point where sellers can pretty much put their business on autopilot because of the data-driven insights that we are providing them. And we have, and I should call out, this is an area that I'm personally very, very excited by, these insights. We have billions of transactions that we could look at. We have millions of sellers, hundreds of, over 169 million buyers. So there's a lot of data that we could be looking at, which we are looking at, and which is what powers the data-driven insights. So it's going to be a huge area of focus for us. You guys have probably seen this stat already, but I think it's worth calling out one more time. We have 362,000 developers who are in our developer program. And we have 190 countries represented. Anybody know how many countries there are in the world? Okay, you may be right. When I looked online this morning, it said 195. So yes, and it did say Taiwan was not included. Okay, so you get the prize. So 195 countries. So this is an incredibly impressive stat. One of the things I'm going to do after this conference is work with Gail to identify which 5 countries are not represented. And I'm going to personally go recruit developers from there. So next time we can say, hey, we have the whole world represented. So very, very impressive. So we have a lot of partners who are building huge businesses by integrating with eBay already. So Channel Advisor is one. BigCommerce is another. And I'm looking forward to working with all of these partners to continue to grow their eBay business. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more new logos that have joined the community as well. We have a lot of room to grow. We are growing. And we want to continue to build this huge ecosystem with more partners. So now is a good time to pause and just recap what I've shared with you guys. So the industry trends are moving in our favor. We see this big move to e-commerce, yet we're only at 8.5% of all retail. That number is going to continue to grow, and it's going to grow fast. And we have some tailwinds behind us. We are seeing CBT, CrossBorder Trade, continuing to grow. That's going to help eBay as well. We are heavily investing in our broader community, in our APIs. We're investing in our tools. We're transforming our experience. The shopping experience is going to be 100x better. We are leveraging AI across the platform, distributed commerce, a lot of big transformations that we're working on. And I wanted to pause and just talk about why this community is so important to me from a personal perspective. And there's 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is eBay doesn't have 362,000 developers. I wish we did, but we don't. So there are always going to be more developers outside of eBay than inside, and we want to tap into that community. So that's one reason. The second reason is to me, it's about innovation. And for me, innovation is, it's not magic that happens. It's not one person who gets all the great ideas. To me, it's as simple as looking at the same problem or the same opportunity, but with a different perspective, right? And we, inside eBay, we get similar input, and we have a certain perspective. But the community that's out there, all of you guys, you could look at the same thing, and you'll look at it with a different perspective, and you'll come up with a different solution. So innovation is another reason why I'm excited about continuing to grow this community and support this community. So I just want to close with one question, which is, what role do you guys want to play? So what we've done in the past is important, but what's more important is what we're going to do right now and what we're going to do in the future. And my ask to all of you is, let's partner and let's be great together. Okay? That's everything I had.
Thank you.
Thank you.